Good evening, everyone. Peace to the nation. I hope you all are doing well this evening. Uh, I'm headed to my assignment, my personal plantation, which I fondly refer to as Candyland, where I earn my daily bread, and blah 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 blah. Well, I was just thinking, and one should think at least 3 times a day, deeply preferentially. And I was thinking about how folks, I guess, give words of wisdom, lessons, and I guess you could probably say this might be potentially end up at the end being me trying to give somebody advice or a lesson. But I was just thinking how people give out advice and pearls of wisdom. You know, uh, a thing that I noticed, and maybe well, I know it happens. It may not happens as much as I'm kind of perceiving it to be. People tend to give the best advice after the fact, and it's like the advice is given in a judgmental fashion. Uh, it's like you might tell and take this for what it is because it's the same. This is the logic and reasoning, the way it sounds to me. Let's say, for example, you got a woman. She had a baby with a man she didn't end up staying with. Maybe 2 or 3 babies with one man or 2 men, 3 men, whatever. And it's stated by those who may be criticisms. They say that they may feel that this woman has been irresponsible with her womb. They'll say something like she should have chosen better. And it's like, well, you might see this woman, this single mother per se. You don't necessarily know the story for you, and in some cases, it may very well be instrumental, but not consequential by her actions that she may be single. But and I'm sure that there are a fair amount of arguable cases that is sometimes the guy that she chose. We know people for a certain amount of time, and they say stay solid for a certain amount of time, but then maybe one day they change up on it. And who's to say this is not the same in a romantic relationship? You done invested all your time. This might be the nigga that you love. You might have took your virginity. And you got a baby by him, and then here come another niggas. He done convinced the nigga loved you. You thought the nigga loved you. Maybe he did love you, and the puppy love, maybe since so on and so forth. You end up with the baby, and maybe either you may lose interest, or the young fella may lose interest, but the baby remains. And and there'll come people. They'll say, well, you should have did this and did that and third. But you may have people that tell their children to tell people, or give out the general advice and say, well, you got to be responsible with your sex. You don't want to have any children, unplanned pregnancies and things of that nature. Some may call a mistake baby. You don't want to have a mistake baby. All children are eligible babies. All babies need love. All babies are special. But sometimes, some babies are made unplanned, and oops, it's a mistake baby. But advice is given, wisdom is given, and my mind is like, it seems to me, it's starting to appear to me there's a whole lot more after the situation, the circumstance might have happened. That type of advice comes in as I told you so type of advice. Like when they talk about that football player boy, with the girlfriend, without that's his wife and mother to be, Travis, the guy Travis. We talk about the guy Travis. It's a lot of people, and it may happen, and it may not ever happen. It's a lot of people just waiting, especially the content creator folk. They just sitting and waiting, you know. So if something happens, she get caught in the hotel room, whatever. They just dying to say to give the "I told you so" advice, as if you know your life is equivalent to your wealth and your status is equivalent to Travis, where your advice is valuable before or after the fact. But you got to think about it. It's like, well, shoot. People have their own lives and their own beliefs, their own opinions, and their own principles, and their own aims and directions. It's not necessarily like Travis Hunter was and I don't, hey man, he for him, let's say we look at him as a couple. For him, on the look side, and it ain't like she's super duper. I mean, and they say, what kind of bride you got, Flay? But it ain't like she's super, like she a dime store piece of something. But this is like when y'all see these other football players, I guess y'all didn't believe that young Travis was gamed up enough to know better for himself. Now, mind you, I don't know whether these colleges give out grades and things of that nature, but I thought Travis Hunter had a pretty good GPA leaving about that college, along with his athletics. But you'll catch let's say, I guess a more savvy, got a little more swag to him, debonair type athlete guy, seemed to be a player, some forth. And when he chooses to go exotic, he got a whole bunch of bread. It ain't necessarily that talked in. If the talked in becomes, I guess it still comes, he should have got with a black girl. But I didn't necessarily hear that with Travis. Because like I said, Travis ain't no Billy D. Williams type of nigga, no Warren Moon in the face type of nigga, however them niggas, whatever, I can't say this, y'all know what looks good and what doesn't. He wasn't that. But if you have these other guys, and they pick them. This is what I was saying. I did for a second. It's like it wasn't so much that the black women was coming back because they was mad they didn't catch a fine specimen of a man like Travis Hunter. They was mad. They saying, "Oh shoot, that white gal, ethnically ambiguous." Gal that he done messed around and knocked up and get married to, she gonna take all this money. It wasn't the fact that, well, shoot, I maybe if I had was around, I could have had my bid in when Travis was going through his struggles and needed some place to stay and a ride or whatever, maybe I could have been that broad. Because hell, y'all might say that she groomed the situation where till he got to a point he had some money, but who are you investing in? But I'm off to another topic, I guess. It's back to the advice. And that was just me unconsciously giving out advice to you all. And especially, giving out advice to women. I mean, it's hard enough to try to find some young men who can necessarily put their pride and ego to the side, and just the fact that niggas like to think they right regardless of whatever evidence that might prove their theory or otherwise. I don't want to I'm not here to give advice to them. I have a lot of women in my family. I could tell you stories, but I'd have to leave them all anonymous, I'm sure. But I know a lot about women, and I guess that's partially the reason why I'm single now. And that may seem to be what they call that oxymoron, but I've been single for a while, and I seen the way the shit kind of changed around. We always understood women, at least I have. I always understood women needed more independence and wanted to have a better say and more control of their situations and circumstances. But it's certain things that are being sold as independence and what's the word? It's the equality. Let's say equality. It's being sold as that, and it's not that. Because what it is fooling you. It's fooling the female to operate outside her nature. uh in regards to, you know, the way that they treat their temple, you know, their portal, you know, because it's, you know, we they and Lord knows I've been accused of being a misogynist for what reason I do not know. It's your portal. It is the portal. The portal's not the booty hole. You know, niggas want to start. The new fad came, and that's another thing. I'm like, man, I used to like to kiss, because kissing in the missionary position, kissing the woman in the mouth, that's like, you know, a bonding. That is a bonding. But then I started hearing about, you know, the fanaticisms with eating out the booty on both sides. It wasn't necessarily that the niggas was eating out the booty, but then also you got to kiss the nigga in the mouth. Because everybody ain't bathing fast for that, to do that shit. So it's like, I'm not that nasty, first of all. And number two, if you are that nasty, I don't want to know how, because niggas be laying on their back with their legs up like a motherfucking tortoise on the back of his shell. Just you're driving and draining. Vinegar suck. Oh, it's okay, vinegar. Appreciate you tapping though, vinegar. Yeah, me be being single. It don't necessarily matter. It's like, well, you got to be discerning in a situation like that, and I need to just go on and forget, because even something as basic as cooking things. I won't, and I mean, people might say this, where I won't find no woman that I can get with that has my mother's spirit, that operates in the principles. Now, my mother, you know, when she had her day, you know, woo woo woo. I can't say that everybody perfect, but you know, my mama, the way my ideal of femininity is just fine. As a woman, is just fine. My mother is just fine. My mother believed in having a clean environment, cause she cooked good. She spread love and positivity by way of words and loves and affections. But I gotta get my ass to work. I'm a po nigga, Mr. Nigga. So with that being said, I don't know, man. Give advice. If you're sincere about the advice you're giving, keep on giving your advice, man. But sometimes people don't need to hear that shit from you, especially if your life ain't that motherfucking great itself. You know, wouldn't that be fair? That's how come the rich niggas be saying, I don't listen to a poor motherfucker talking. Because if a poor motherfucker talking had something that was so motherfucking important, he wouldn't be poor. But I guess that might be a little short-sighted. You know, victims of circumstances and things of that nature. Peace and love, nigga nation. Nothing two palms that to receive all blessings. I'll holler at y'all next go around. Ain't nobody in this bitch, because YouTube full of shit. Fuck YouTube and all these other motherfuckers. Y'all been bullshit. Y'all use my shit. Y'all use creators like me as models for your AI. And your AI produces content that's similar to my man. Another story, another time. Peace and love, nigga nation. Nothing.